He's fresh from chairing a meet and greet with Jeremy Corbyn and Andy McDonald, who resigned last night. He put in an appearance. No, he didn't.
Look, let me just tell you. Andy phoned me first thing this morning. He apologised that he wasn't going to be able to be at the coffee with us this morning. We were hoping to be talking about my private member's bill on fire and rehire. But he said, look, in the circumstances, I know this will simply overshadow it, and I've gone back to London. Look, Andy's such a straight bloke. You know, if he'd wanted to grandstand, he had the perfect opportunity. This morning we had all the media there. He went back to London because, for him, this is about who he is. For years, he has cared about employment rights, not just as an MP. It's what he's campaigned on as an MP, but before that, he was actually an employment rights solicitor. So this is who he is. You know, cut him. It's all the way through. It's like Brighton Rock.
Isn't there an argument that you should be in the shadow cabinet and stay there and make the arguments for the things that you believe in?
Yeah, look, of course, and I'm sure Andy's had those discussions, you know, for some time. And I was in a panel with Keir just the other night. We were sitting next to each other, and Keir was praising the work that Andy had done on that employment green paper. And it's a brilliant document. And I'm really proud that our party is putting that out, and that, you know, we've got the support in the party for that as our manifesto commitments. That's great. But Andy obviously felt that this was going just too far. Look, you know what carers have been through in the pandemic. You know that, you know, they have not had the PPE they needed. They haven't had the protection they needed. They've seen some of their own fellows, you know, who've been caring for people who've gone down with COVID, who've died. They've been taking care of patients who've died of COVID in their own care homes. You believe they're worth £15 an hour. I believe they're worth £15 an hour. Andy McDonald believes they're worth £15 an hour. And in all conscience, he could not go out there into a composite meeting, you know, which is where you formulate future policy, and say, no, they're not.
Why does the Labour Party, why is the official position of the Labour Party that they don't deserve £15 an hour?
Look, I don't think it's about not deserving it. I think it's the Labour Party's position is they want to do this more gradually. And I think one of the things that we've learned through the pandemic is actually these are the people that need support now. These are the people that suddenly we've all actually recognised our whole society relies on. They are the glue that holds society together. That's why they're called key workers. And so, you know, I think it's about the Labour Party's position is they want to do this more gradually. Some of us will argue that actually no, we should wake up to what the pandemic has taught us.
Interesting. Now, when I bumped into you on Sunday and I grabbed you because I genuinely wanted to speak to you about your attempt to change the law on fire and rehire. Now, some people won't know what that means. Just explain the practice of fire and rehire.
Sure. What it means is that an employer can call you in and say, here's a new contract. It gives you £5,000, maybe £10,000 off your wages. It may change your shift pattern so that your whole family life is disrupted, caring for children. It may take away your pension rights. And they'll say to you, unless you sign that new contract, you're fired. And actually, many people, when they heard that for the first time, said, oh, well, surely that's against the law.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's not. And that's why it's really important, because it used to be that this was a last resort that employers would use in a situation where the company was in a dreadful position, they needed to restructure, they needed to put wages down or terms and conditions changed, because otherwise the company was going out of business. Now, and we all understand that in those circumstances, then it may be necessary. But actually employers nowadays are using it as a first strike tactic. It's a sort of go straight for the nuclear option. And that's not right, because it's bullying, it's harassment, it's actually, you know, really aggression against your own workforce. And some of the companies that are doing this are earning huge profits. So they're driving down wages simply in order to boost shareholders' profitability, and it's causing huge distress to families all across the country.
The next stage in your attempt to change the law, briefly if you would, because I know you're getting mobbed on your way here, and that's why you're a bit late, but it's quite our time. So when's the next stage of your attempt to change the law?
22nd of October, Friday. It's a private member's bill, and so what I'm hoping is that the government will come on board and support it. The Prime Minister's already said that he believes it's unacceptable for employers to do this, and actually Kwasi Kwarteng has said that it's bullying in the workplace. So here's hoping I may get a Tory government backing my private member's bill to get it through Parliament.
Well, I definitely want to talk to you in the run-up to that week. Final question, should Jeremy Corbyn be back as a Labour MP? Should he be readmitted?
I think it would be a huge olive branch that the leader should hold out, not just to Jeremy Corbyn, but to the whole of the party. He said he wanted to unite our party. I think that would help do it.
Barry Gardiner, it's a great chat.